All right, YouTube universe. Welcome back to The Naked Truth, the reboot of the channel, right? We've been going far too long, so I thought to myself, what's the best thing to do with this channel? And we're basically going to start from scratch again, all right? And the first time I started, we dove deep into the Larry Bird rabbit hole, and that's how I started this channel off again. Just banged out the Larry Bird Ultimate Mixtape, and what's better to do now than Larry Bird trash-talking stories? So, like, subscribe, comments, send me links, what do you want me to watch? But ultimately, let's jump into the video and check out some of Larry Bird's best trash-talking stories, all right? Here we go. Enjoy.
Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in basketball. And a lot of people say, really? You know, they thought it was Reggie or Charles.
Bird used to tell me, look here, man, you're supposed to be a great defender, right? And I'm going to make sure I tell you where I'm going to shoot the ball at.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to get it right here. I'm going to shoot it right in your face.
And I'm looking at this guy like, he's nuts.
I'm going to go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that cone. And it's going to be your Christmas present. I'm going to wrap it up and bust your head open.
And that's exactly what he did. If he tell you you're going to hit a shot in a certain place, he's going to do just that, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
Being a better player each step I took, I was able to do a little bit more than the other guys. I had a green light. I could make plays, but I always knew early on, especially when I was a junior, senior in high school, that probably the outcome of the game was going to depend on me.
Well, yeah, I interviewed Gary Payton, a venomous trash talker. And I asked him who the most vicious trash talker he's ever encountered. He said Larry Bird.
Oh, no question.
Bird talk shit, like we talk.
Let me tell y'all something. Bird used to tell me, look here, man, I'm going to go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that cone. And it's going to be your Christmas present. I'm going to wrap it up and bust your head open. All that shit. He told me, young fella, let me tell you something. I can shoot a jumper anywhere I want to. You're supposed to be a great defender, right? I'm going to make sure I tell you where I'm going to shoot the ball at. And I was like, man, come on now. You're not going to shoot the ball.
Just a quick pause. You have to remember, Gary Payton got Larry Bird at the end of his career when Larry was pretty much all broken down. And Larry was still talking smack and cooking people. So he didn't even get Larry at full tilt.
I'm going to take you over in that corner right there. You see it over there by my bench, right? And I'm going to give you something, and it's going to be this jumper. So he went right to that corner, and I'm up on him. I'm under him. And he said, young fella, what did I tell you I was
going
to do?
Too small, Gary.
I turned around, raised up, and it was all drawn. And I said, shit, I ain't going to mess with you no more. He was the coldest dude I ever seen with that shit, man. Everybody be talking about these greats. They don't be always mentioning him. He was the shit. Yeah. Shit, man. He'll give it to you any way he wanted to. Larry Bird was cold.
Bird did. So I guess the question is, why don't you answer Gary Payton's question? When they talk about the greats, why don't they ever mention Larry Bird? Very rarely do they bring up Bird. Let me know.
Trash to you,
oh my God, Bird talk trash to everybody. I always tell the story about Larry Bird. I remember him, he was cursing under his breath. And I asked him, I said, Larry, what's going on with you? He says, you guys are being disrespectful to me. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, you guys are putting a white guy on me. That's disrespectful.
That's right.
I just started laughing. I had no comeback when he says,
he played against him, they were brothers.
When y'all put a white guy on me.
Larry said, I'm insulted that they would put a sorry dude like you on me. He said, no, I don't even want to play no more. He would drop the ball and take a turnover. And I'm looking at this guy like, he's nuts, you know?
The story goes that when he played against Denver, they had a guy named John Hansley, a white guy, a really good defender, right?
Okay.
They put him on Larry, and Larry was wearing his ass out. Absolutely. And Larry would run by the bench and tell Doug Moe, who was the coach, get him off me. That's disrespectful. Put a black guy on me. Because when he played back in the day, that's all he played against was brothers. So he was like, I had to torch his ass so they understand.
And Larry got on the roll, started shooting the balls. Every shot was going in. All right, he runs by Frank Layden, who was the funniest guy in the league.
He was.
And Frank
he was a character.
Larry would say stuff. Hey, Frank, don't you have anybody on that bench who can guard me? He goes, so nobody out here can. Frank looked down at the bench and goes, no.
Along with Steve Jones and Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal. Just moments before the American Airlines Sheraton long-distance shootout.
The All-Star game is in Dallas, the first three-point contest, and he just starts looking at guys, doesn't say a word, and people are getting kind of nervous. Everybody's sitting there, everybody's real quiet. You knew the guys, but you never were around them. And nobody's really saying anything, so I walk in and look around, and then he finally speaks and says, I'm just looking to see who's going to finish second.
And says, I hope all you guys in here are thinking about second place because I'm winning this.
Excuse me?
Did you really say that? Who's playing for second?
Yeah, I did. When you walk in there,
Larry rarely admits that he talks trash.
Just messing with all those guys. I know going into that, I remember in the locker room, Robert said something that there's no way in hell I was going to win that 3-point contest. So I knew right then I had to win.
That check said my name on it for a week now, and I knew I was going to win this thing. I've been practicing, and my teammates said I wasn't going to win it, but I came back and lucked out, really.
Oh, yeah.
Bird would luck
Humble
out again
Larry.
the next year, but in 1988, it looked like his luck had finally run out. He certainly doesn't have that normal Bird rhythm going for him. Seconds remaining, has only 7, has to beat 15. That's 8.
Here we go.
9 and 10, 11 as we're counting. 13.
A huge rack that time for Bird.
He's still got to drop one here quickly. 14. This is a tie for the...
You notice how his shot always goes out of frame? Goes out of frame, and then splash, all net. Man, an arc. Boom.
He knew exactly what the score was. He knew that ball was going to win the competition for him, and it's almost like he did it in dramatic fashion just to make it more fun.
He knew it when he let it go and was headed for the winner's circle.
He didn't take off his top yet. Oh, yeah. I didn't see when he took off his top.
Larry used to come in the locker room. He'd be getting his ankles taped, and he'd say, hey, ball boy, run in and go find the scoring record in this building. He needed those kind of challenges.
He had accomplished every goal. We hadn't lost a game on the trip. And Larry told all of us players and the media too, tomorrow night's the last game of the trip, I'm going to play this with left-handed at least through 3 quarters. It was in a time.
Now, there's a little bit more of the story to that. The reporter asked a follow-up question when Larry said, hey, I'm going to, play this game left-handed, at least through 3 quarters. The reporter said, well, why do you want to do that, Larry? He said, because I want to. That's it. Because I want to. That's a legend.
And when, McHale was still coming off the bench.
And so Larry scores his 6th point on a left-handed shot.
And I'll never forget him. McHale yells out.
And McHale goes, hey, Jerome, wait till he starts shooting right-handed.
And at the end of 3 quarters, I get 27 points left-handed. Well, left-handed is one thing, but when the game got close, I had to go back to the right one.
He could hold all these things in his head during a game. So he'd have a shooting drill at the old Boston Garden.
4:30 in the afternoon. I was an early guy. I'd set up early. The garden would be dark.
Any of you out there in YouTube land like Larry?
Garden, come out with an equipment guy. And
any of you out there so elite at something? I don't care what it is. Sport, a trade, skill, whatever it might be.
Set up something wrong with the rim. Otherwise,
are you so elite at something that you can trash talk?
Computer right next to the bench.
Just know no one can touch it.
Scoop,
no
what
one
are you
can
working on?
compete with you.
I'm doing an early story.
Then I'd say, well, I'm doing an early edition newspaper story about your free throw streak.
You are approximating the NBA record for consecutive free throws, so don't miss one tonight or I'll look bad in the paper.
Sure enough, first half, he goes to the line for 2, and the foul line is lined up right where we're sitting if he looks over.
He's at the line. He makes the first.
He looks over and winks at me.
He looks over and winks at me before he makes the second. I mean, guys don't do that today. And he would...
Always thinking about these things. It's like paying off a bet in the middle of a game. He was doing 2 things at once.
Well, you had the Bird night.
I had the Bird night. That was a tough night, man.
But nobody was guarding Bird, were they?
Well, we were trying.
You were trying.
60-point game. I know where this is going.
Literally coming up the court, calling his shots. It's in that game. We're on the free throw line, and he literally says,
"It's off the glass. Who's next? Where do you want this one from?" And he just made one after another, and he just tortured it mentally. That game, he tortured all of them.
I think Bird went by the bench one time too.
He fell in the bench.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and he called that one. That was the one where he fell in it. He literally said, "Off the glass into the trainer." And, yeah.
His last shot, he said, in the trainer's lap, coming down the court. He shot this high rainbow. It goes in. Ricky bumps into him and he knocks him on our trainer's lap. So it was exactly what he said.
Antoine Carr and Cliff Levingston got fined by Fratello, I think.
And Eddie Johnson for celebrating.
Celebrating Bird.
Yeah, it was the best film session. Every time when I see Mike, we still laugh.
God,
it was the greatest film session ever because back then, you watched the real game and just went, with a video. And Mike rewound the celebration 20 times.
And they show a shot of our bench. Cliff Livingston and Eddie Johnson are standing up giving each other high five.
I mean, everybody was entertained by this. Even the guys on the Atlanta
They
bench.
got 5 for that, I heard.
Yeah. Watch the reactions on the Atlanta bench. You see Scotty Hastings with them. Yeah. Watch Cliff Levingston over here. I think this is Cliff.
Fratello wouldn't let it go. He just kept rewinding. Showing the guys, you remember they were giving each other high five.
And then somebody falls off the bench.
Yeah, that was Eddie Johnson.
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson falls off the bench in laughter, and Antoine Carr and Cliff gives each other a high five. And our film session was 20 minutes of that. And so it was a bad night.
The first game against Larry Bird, it was shocking. And I'm a rookie, you know. I go shake his hand, and he put both hands behind his back. And I'm saying, okay, he's getting his head ready to play. First play of the game, he says, I don't know where they got you guarding me, Holmes. And he shoots a 3. I was pissed. I said, I wasn't mad he hit the 3. But this called me Holmes. And so it's set up for a really interesting game. Because I remember one time I came down and
Larry's about to eat it.
He fouled me, and I'm pointing. And he said, hey, Rook. I said, what? He said, I like you. He said, you got balls, but I'm still going to get 30 on your ass. He got about 38, so he kind of proved his point. But I had to pay my dues. I wasn't upset about that because, back then, as a rookie, you got to pay your dues. Simple as that.
It was funny, the first time that I played in my rookie year, I guarded Larry Bird, and it took me about 10 minutes to realize I should be probably guarding him instead of staring at him. And he came down, it was funny, he came down one time, and Mark West was...
What's his nickname, boys and girls? That's Dan Marley. Bonus points if you know what his nickname is. No cheating, don't look it up.
The center on our team, and Larry looked at me, and then he looked at Mark, and he said, Mark, I'm going to go down, I'm going to come off the screen, I'm going to catch it right there, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to shoot it in the rookie's face, and then I'm going to run down the floor. And that's exactly what he did. And I'm sitting there, that just happened.
But did he talk to you, or you weren't good enough?
He talked through me. He never addressed me.
I love that.
Like I wasn't even there.
And did Mark West going,
Mark was like, all right,
okay,
man.
all right.
You probably will. Good luck.
And then he did.
He did it.
But
there was nothing I could do about it.
He backed up whatever he said. If he tell you going to hit a shot to certain place, or if he going to take you down to the post, turn around, hit a fadeaway J, he going to do just that, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
These guys came in together in 81. There's Kevin, there's Larry, there's Robert. Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, they knew what each other could do. And what I did was said, okay, let's see what's happening out there. And you'd see Larry shoot the three-pointer, and then I call a timeout, and they didn't count the three-pointer.
Larry just hit what would have been the game-winning shot, but KC called timeout.
It won't count. It does not count. Boston had called a timeout.
This was in the Ultimate Mixtape video, too. We know what happens here.
So he's very upset with that, so I diagrammed the play. He says, heck with the play, Case. Hey, guys, when I come back after timeout, I'm going to go right to the same spot. I'm going to kick it in. Give me the ball and tell all the rest of the guys to get out of the way. I said, shut up, Larry. I'm the coach here. Okay. All right. Dennis, you take the ball out, give it to Kevin, then you throw it to Larry, and everybody get the hell out of the way.
Celtics are down by 2 points, and Bird is out by the three-point line.
Horrible
and
video.
He's being guarded by a guy named Johnny High.
He goes down before the ball is thrown in, and he's standing right in front of the Phoenix bench, and he looks at all the guys on the bench and says,
yeah, I'm just fixing to bust a 3 on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this.
And he says, watch my hand as I follow through.
And, Johnny High sort of smiles and laughs about it.
And I was supposed to cut off the high post and post up for a second and then go across and set a pick. Well, I came off the pick and I was wide open and I stood there waiting for the ball. I had a smaller guy to post up and Larry just waved me out of the way saying, get out of here, get out of the way.
And then he just turns around and shoots a perfect 3.
As the ball's in the air, he kind of turns towards the field.
Didn't even touch the net.
Told you so. He stopped running to the locker room.
As he continues on to the dressing room. Now, that's what you call arrogance.
And for that time, I learned to run Larry's play, not the coach's play.
He wanted the light on him. He wanted the focus, and he wanted that ball. And in case he would ever call somebody else's play, Larry would just say, no. I'm shooting this ball, and he would.
I get a charge when I tell someone on the opposing team that I'm going to hit the last second shot and then do it. That's what it's all about.
All right, let's take a little couple seconds back there. Larry doesn't do it too often, right? He's wearing that Hick from French Lick face mask that throws you off. So every once in a while, He'll show you the assassin that lives under that face mask. Look at those eyes. When he's talking about hitting the last second shot after telling somebody you're going to do it, look at the look. That's the killer. He's showing it to you right there. A little flash.
It's all about.
Tie game, 13 seconds to play. Celtics basketball.
During the timeout, I'm going through a play. And about that time, Larry steps in and says, Coach, why don't you just give me the ball and tell everybody to get out of the way?
Out the way.
It's Larry. If he wants the ball, he wants the ball. After the timeout, we walked back on the court, and then Xavier was guarding him. So he tells Xavier, he says, I'm getting the ball.
I said, I know, I'm going to be waiting. And he said, I'm going to get it right here. I'm going to shoot it right in your face.
5, and Bird has the basketball. Look out. Larry Bird, just phenomenal the way that...
He came out when right about that exact spot and shot a shot right in my face. And, he was like, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock. I walked back to the sideline like, damn.
Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in basketball. And a lot of people say, really? They thought it was Reggie or Charles. Larry Bird talked more trash on the basketball court than anybody I've ever played against. So we playing him the last play. He says to James Worthy, he says, you guys don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go right over there that corner. And I'm going to catch it, I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to tie the game or win the game, whatever the case may be. They take the ball out, and I think it was either Danny or
nothing you can do about it.
DJ.
The late, great DJ.
Yeah.
You DJ coming down, right, with the ball. Oh, great DJ, that's good. So pass it to Larry, he's in that corner. Now I gotta go out and close Larry Bird out. So as I'm running out to Larry Bird, he's talking trash to me. I don't know why you running out here. Who says that in the middle of the game?
It's a 24-second clock running here.
You get one step away from me and I'm gonna shoot it right in your face. So I got one step away, he shoots it all net. 3-pointer, good.
Take the ball out, man crow right to the corner, caught the shot, shot a 3, game over. It's like, are you effing kidding me?
And he turned to me and said, you did all that running for nothing.
And he was saying in such a calm way that you didn't think it was trash talking, but it's trash talking. You're not going to tell me you're going to go over there and shoot the ball in my face. That's trash talking. But he would tell you before the play even started. He'd tell you where he's going. He'd tell you when he catches, there's nothing you can do about it. And it was great trash talking because it wasn't vulgar. I mean, he wasn't pounding his chest. You can just be standing next to him. I would jump out and try to block a shot on rotation, and he'd say, Scott. You jump high, but you don't jump that high. You can't get this. Scott, you're a little too late. Scott, you're not getting that. Why are you even jumping? Why are you running out of it? But it was all game.
He'd say something like, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. I mean, he talked the whole game, and it was, after the game and after years of thinking about it, you're like, man, that dude, why he's one of the greatest players ever played.
He was ridiculous. He came out here. Our sportscaster played the Superman theme when he was talking about him that night after the game because he did everything, points, rebounds, assists, just steals, you name it. Larry has such a great mind for the game. I had a lot of respect for him as a competitor.
That competitive nature, the work
that's coming from Kareem.
I asked a lot of questions.
That's big.
Playing with Byron Scott, I asked him a lot of questions. Eddie Jones, Magic, James Worthy, Kurt Rambis, all the Laker greats, I would always sit down and just ask them questions.
Oh, and rest in peace, Kobe.
What did you feel there and why? Bird tough to defend, why? Because you look slow as shit to me. So I'm missing something. So tell me what I'm missing. You know what I mean?
Like I was saying, growing up in Boston, people all used to always talking about that he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that. And, a lot of my friends was like that, So, I got to the league. I called all my...
Yeah, I said it in the last video I put up, and I'll say it again. This athleticism knock on Larry Bird that he wasn't athletic. No, he wasn't Michael Jordan. He wasn't Sean Kemp. He wasn't, any of these guys that have a 40-plus inch vertical, can jump out of the gym and do all these things. Okay? But he wasn't a slug. All right? He was fairly athletic. More athletic, I think, than people give him credit for. But more importantly, he had complete mastery of the game. And complete mastery of the game will always trump your athletic ability. Period. End of story. Continue, Patrick.
Back up. I said, all that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great. Whatever you were saying, for a man who can't jump, he's demolishing everybody. He's doing it on everybody. He's doing it on the best defensive players in the league.
That's right.
I never forget driving, and I'm listening to a game. It's New Mexico State playing Indiana State. I don't really care about the game, but New Mexico State is right up the streets from El Paso, and I went to UTEP, and we're big rivalries. So I'm hoping that Indiana State will beat New Mexico State. And I'm listening to the radio, and I have no clue of the players on either team. All of a sudden, this name keeps coming. Bird. He goes to the right. Bird. He makes the strike. Bird. I said, God damn, who's Bird? Bird. You know, here's Bird. And Bird this. And Bird. Oh, did you see the pass that Bird made? I can't see it, but I'm just trying to imagine it. When the time I got to the end, I said, damn, that brother can play. When I got the newspaper the next morning and saw Larry's picture, I said, damn. Larry, it wasn't you know, be honest with you. The young lady that said you were her favorite player, mine too. I love you too, man. But not as much as I like Bird.
People always talk about great basketball players, and they don't never mention him to be up in that round. But Larry Bird was
Why?
Cool. I don't think nobody ever could get out with him. You ask Magic. That's why Magic had a run, and he was mad when he had to retire in '92 because of what he was going to be missing with Larry Bird. Mm-hmm. And then you remember Larry Bird took 2 more years, and then he quit because he said his main guy who he wanted to play against is gone.
I'm going to tell this story. We're in LA, and I'm hurt. They got a pulled hamstring, so I'm not playing tonight. So I can't play against the Celtics. You know, I'm killing myself. You know, Larry warming up. The anthem is sung and get introduced. And right before they go out on the court, Larry comes down and says, you know what? Since you're here, I'm going to put a show on for you. So you just sit back and watch, okay? Don't worry. I'm going to put a show on for you. And I'm like, man, get out of my face, man. Want to hear that? You know, that's Celtics and the Lakers. And he went out. I think he scored 38 points, about 20 rebounds, about 15 assists. Woo. And every shot he would shoot, he would turn to me. Every time he hit one, he'd look at me. And I said, boy, you know, the thing about it that I love about you is that most guys talk trash and can't back it up. But Mr. Bird, you know you can back your trash talking up. And last but not least, I'm going to say this because you told me one lie. You only told me one lie in your career. Only one. And you only lied to the fans and all the people in the world one time. And you know what that lie was? You don't remember, do you? Larry Bird said that there would be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird. And so, he's mine, and I signed it to you, to the greatest basketball player ever, but more important, a friend forever. I love you, I respect you, and I admire you.
Nice. All right, boys and girls. Larry Legend stories. There are so many more of them out there. We're going to get to all of them. If you want to give me a little bit of a hand, drop some links down in the comments below. I'll go right to them and we'll see what we've got, all right? Subscribe, comment, like. I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming back to The Naked Truth. We're going to keep this thing rolling, boys and girls. Until next time, The Naked Truth is out.